Good evening, everyone. How is everybody doing this fine Wednesday? It's hump day, middle of the week. Um, it's been a crazy week thus far, but yeah, glad that you guys are all here tonight. And what is going on with the chat? Let me try and disconnect and reconnect it. Okay, so I think I should be okay. Yeah. Well, I'll just switch this screen around. Sorry, a little bit of housekeeping here. How is everybody tonight? Hope you guys are doing great. And let's do some quick shout outs. Hey, Joanna. Still awake tonight. It's amazing. Well, you must have had a very fun weekend. Wink, wink. Hi, Donna. And hey, Katie. Gloria Garris is here. Hi, Gloria. Stacy Baker. Donna Hoskins. Suzanne Taylor. Hello, Suzanne. Christy Smith is here. Hi, Christy. Joanna Petitfield says, I made 2 pouches today and even did the zipper right. Wow, congratulations. Well, thank you, Joanna. I need a little encouragement and you'll find out why. Hey, Sue. We missed you Saturday. Hi, Pearl. Hello, Kim. Okay, and we got a whole bunch of people saying hi to each other, so I'm going to skip all of that. Hi, Linda. Okay. Hi, Yvonne from Tennessee. Okay. So a few housekeeping notes before I get started. As you guys all know, I am working on the butterfly quilt. Still powering my way through it. But a few house notes. And Katie, I'm glad that you're here because is it this Saturday or is it next Saturday that we're on together? That is Katie the Greenland Quilter. I know we're scheduled to do a live. I hope it's not this Saturday. I hope I said it's the 27th. Because I do have it down for the 27th. So which is next Saturday. Hey, Flicky Chicky. Hi. Hi, Kelly Quilts and Cruises. Okay. Let's see. Okay, wait. Okay, so it is next Saturday. Thank you. So next Saturday, I will be on live with Katie. Saturday, it'll be Saturday afternoon, Pacific time. I hope I put the time down. And I will put a notice on the. I'll put a notice up on this channel, so that you guys know what time we'll start. But you can also check out the Greenland Quilter. That is Katie, who's also here in the chat. And we'll be on live with her channel. So that's coming up. And let's see, if you caught last night's impromptu live, you'll know that I am actually heading my way to Houston next month for the Houston Quilt Show. So I'll be there kind of in and out one day, fly in Friday night, leave Sunday morning. Yeah. Quick trip. All because I needed to use up some airline credits that was given to me. So, and it was, a lot of these airlines are now starting to have their credits expire. So you can't hold on to it indefinitely like how you used to. So, yeah, I need to kind of use it up before it expires. So that's what kind of prompted that trip. Totally not planned. And I was kind of looking on the Houston Quilts Incorporated website, who is the sponsor or the organizer of the Houston Quilt Show. And seems very, very interesting as to what they have planned. I'll just say that. And I am not sure why this is not connecting. Let's see if it connects again. Sorry. Okay, now it seems to be working. Yep. Oh, okay. So sorry about that little technical thing. And I don't know why it's doing that now. Okay. Whoops, did the sound go off? Okay, it's going to be that kind of a night where I have all kind of technical challenges. Okay. Okay, so as you can kind of see a little bit behind me there, I was starting to kind of lay out all the blocks and starting to kind of lay out the butterfly. And it's a good thing that I did because, well, let's just say there's a few blocks that I kind of mistakenly skipped. And I totally forgot to make some of them. So tonight is going to be catch-up night where I do some of that. Now, if you caught me last night, you know what a disaster that I had trying to make some of these circle blocks. Well, that was a mistake, but I'm leaving it as it is. And I was supposed to do a smaller version of that, or another version of that using a different colorway. And I totally got the colors wrong. The purple is actually supposed to be where the black piece is, and the black piece is actually supposed to be the curve. So what did I do with those? Cut it up and put them in the crumb bin. And after that, I just kind of, after I figured that out, and after I ended last night's broadcast, I just kind of closed the bin, walked away, because I can't tell you how frustrated I was. Yeah. But today's another night, or tonight is a new night, and I'm going to give the curves a little bit of a rest for tonight, but I wanted to catch up on a block that I missed, because there is supposed to be a log cabin block. There's 4 sets of log cabin blocks in this pattern. There's a large one, there's a medium, and then there's a small, and then there's something that they call the mini. And I forgot to make the mini log cabins. So that's what I'll be doing tonight. I am going to stay on a little extra because I do want to go back to some of the circle blocks and try and do a larger one. Get my confidence back up on trying to do curves. So now that's what I will be doing tonight. So yeah, last night was just a total disaster. I went to bed after after the live and just kind of fell asleep watching YouTube videos in bed. And then I said, you know what? People make mistakes. Even the best of us make mistakes. I do not claim to be an expert at all of this, but I make the mistakes so that you guys can feel comfortable when you make your mistakes. Does that make sense? I hope so. Okay. Wait, before I make another cutting mistake, let me verify what sizes. Yep. Oh, the last one is, oh, okay. I better remember that one. And this, I think I might be able to put, yeah, I'll put this in the string bin. And how many do I need? 6. Okay. This should be a quick block. All right. I saw somebody activated our hot topic for today. Or maybe it was me. No, thank you, Kim. She activated the hot topic. So, can you believe it's already mid-September? I mean, it just sort of seemed like I blinked and it was January. And now I blink again, it's middle of September. So this year is really going by fast. And I think part of that for me personally is because of the fact that there's been a lot of changes that have happened this year. But it is September. And I was kind of thinking of all the things that are, or projects that I got coming up that I need to get done before the end of the year. One of them being, I already have my ornament order from mom this year. So I got to get started on that. Which is kind of why I'm trying to push this quilt or get done with this quilt as soon as I can. Or my goal is at least to get it done by, at least the quilt top, get it done by the end of this month. Because after this month, yeah, I have to kind of kick it into high gear with a lot of Christmas stuff and Christmas gifts. So, but the question being, how did I word it? Do you make any holiday crafts or decorate your home for the holidays? And what types of crafts or what types of decorations do you do? I used to go crazy during Christmas and Thanksgiving. Well, more Christmas than Thanksgiving. Would you believe that in my tiny one-bedroom apartment, I had at one point 5 different Christmas trees all set up? Yeah, I know, 5. Crazy, right? But that's how much I used to. I haven't done that in a while. Partially because, well, I have no room to do a lot of that. And since moving to Las Vegas a year ago, like last year, I didn't do any decorating for the holidays, just making stuff for other people. This year, I'm kind of thinking about doing it. Usually, I will put up at least 1 Christmas tree. For Halloween, I might just make a wreath and just put it on the door. But, you know, last time I put a wreath on, someone actually stole it off my door. So, I mean, I didn't care. It wasn't the most expensive wreath to make, but still kind of disappointing when you put in all that work and someone just kind of takes it off your door and puts it on for them. And I know who it is because they weren't smart enough to figure out that I know what my wreath looks like, and they put it on their door. Not the smartest thing to do. But you know what? I didn't really, well, it didn't bother me so much. At least somebody got to enjoy it, is what I say. Oh, okay. This muffin tin is getting full. And I just spilt a whole bunch of 1.5-inch squares here. So, yeah, I guess I'll be doing a scrap project using 1.5-inch squares now. I got a lot of white. And I just spilt the tray. Oh boy, this will be fun. And I got the turquoise, so I'll smash them in here. What is this doing in here? Making a mess and having fun doing it. Isn't that what it's all about? Okay, so Donna Hoskins says Saturday the 20th is Jelly Roll Day. So that is this Saturday. It's National Sew a Jelly Roll Day. And actually, what I found out was this whole month is actually National Sewing Month, which is quite interesting. I had no idea we even had a National Sewing Month, but you know what? These days we have a month for practically anything now. So I'll put it like that. And these are all my reds and oranges. Sorry, I got so excited that I kind of dropped the tray and all my 1-inch squares kind of fell down on the floor. So I need to pick them up before I roll my chair over them and they all get damaged. Put that there. And before I cut any more squares, I should have checked if I had the sizes that I need, and which I don't think I do. Oh well. Okay. So I can put these back. I'm all flustered. I'm a mess tonight. Kimber says she's not sure what she's going to do for Christmas. I want to set up the big ceramic nativity scene that my dad and his sister made, but it will depend on if the grandkids will be here. How rude, someone stole your wreath. Yeah, well, I mean, at least they enjoyed it, so I don't know if they kept it, though. Donna Hoskins says, Mom is in assisted living. Be ready for requests. Okay. You know, instead, I should actually. I am planning on going home for Thanksgiving. So I don't know. Maybe I should just spend the day at her facility and just teach people how to make it. Wait. No, that's right. Yeah. What is that saying? Teach an old dog. No. Teach a fisherman how to fish, you feed him for life. Whatever that saying is. Maybe that's what I should do. Then they won't bug me to make it for them. I have a little pre-decorated Christmas tree and a couple of wall hangings and a quilt top. Oh, and a quilt I put up. Okay, that's Gloria Garris. Donna Hoskins says, I've made so much stuff. I truly have enjoyed it. Working on adaptive flatware bags design shaped differently for tremors. Oh, that's interesting. Linda Fugate says, I decorate with things I've had for years and extensively with lights outside. It takes about 7 to 10 days. Wow. To get them all up because I do both front and back since my house backs into the bike trail. Oh, well, that's nice. Hey, Mozilla. How you doing, girl? Hello, Denise. So this, I need 6. So 2, 4, and 6. And then I need 6, wait. Yep. Then I can, do I have enough? I might just have enough. Ooh, talk about fabric cutting chicken. I beat it, I beat it, I beat it, beat it, beat it. Okay, then I'll cut one more strip. Trim that, and I think I can cut multiple, do multiple cuts here. So I will line it up. Then this is, okay. I'm just lining up so I can do multiple cuts here. I usually don't use the mat to measure, but I'll flip it around. But I do use the mat to line up the fabrics if I'm doing multiple cuts like this. So, let's see. You know what? I'll cut this one. I'll cut it separately because that one has multiple folds in it. So I need 2 more. And this can go in my strings right there. Hey, Sandra. Rebel says, I lost fabric chicken today. Was 2.5 inch squares short of the fabric I was using. Ah. So I need 6 of this to be so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And I will cut this. Another set of that. Did I cut that wrong? Oh. And trim that. Turn it around. And we will cut the fold off. There. And I can cut this one. And then 2 more. And that is it. That's all the cutting I need for this block or this series of blocks. And I can start sewing. Yay! So let me just trim this down. I'll cut that. That can go in my little bin. And are you ready for some scrappy shenanigans? Sure. Okay, one more nice fall day in British Columbia before rain Friday probably, but we need it. Okay, that's Kelly. And okay, I think I can throw this in. Yeah, that's good enough for a crumb bin. And I can cut this down later. Let me throw that in there. Okay, let's get sewing with these. Do-do-do, do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do. We're still looking at temps in the 80s for the next 9 days here. I wish summer would give up. Yeah, me too, Kim. Although it's, I mean, lately it's been, it's been hot, but it hasn't been like ridiculously crazy hot the past couple days. It's been kind of nice, actually. Although when I still come back home from work and enter my apartment, it's like 80, like 90 degrees in here. So I do have to turn on. Fortunately, I do have air conditioning. Or else I think I would just melt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and here's 6. See, I counted right. Kelly says she's in her PJs and just watching us sew. So the red is actually going to be the center. So I will put the... Wait a minute, did I cut this wrong? Yep, I did. Oh my gosh, this quilt is going to be the death of me. Good thing I saved the extra piece. Okay, let's get this right this time. And I'm going to just line it up like so. No, maybe I'll just do it like this. Whoop. Okay, got the right size. So and I'm going to cut the fold. Okay, now we should be right. Okay, that looks much better. Remember, measure twice, cut once. And maybe I should actually follow my own advice. Okay, let's see. I die without AC. Yes, Sandra. Well, especially in Florida. My gosh. You not only have the heat, you got the muggy too, and the humidity. So honestly, I think you have it worse there. And last two. I call it humility. It's not pretty. Hi, Lydia. If there was ever a time for someone to be boiled, or you just kind of feel like you're getting boiled alive, yeah, that would be the time. I remember I was in Florida in late August once, and oh my goodness, I just stepped outside for like 1 minute and I was already sweating. Mm, okay, I followed the instructions. Why is it that it's not coming out? Oh, the instructions have the cut sizes wrong. I did not catch that. Okay. Well, what do you know? Oh, I cut it wrong. Oh, man. You know what? I'm just going to trim it off to what I know it's supposed to be. So if this was, okay, so that is right. Fabric 2, then so it's supposed to be, yeah. Ah, tricky. Then now this should fit. Yep, there it is. But I need to trim these down. Yeah, I should pay attention to my cut sizes a little better, huh? Well, it's a good thing I know the math behind some of this, or the math behind the construction of this block. Speaking of which, that's a good segue to this, because I am working on a series of videos where we'll teach you how to do the math on some of these blocks, such as a log cabin, so that you know you have the right sizes. So this I cut a little too big. And this one is also too big too now. So that if I make a cutting, or if I make a mistake, especially, well, on a block like this, where it's a log cabin, I can always trim it down to what size I need it to be. And it's a good thing I caught it now, that I can actually trim the individual pieces down to the correct size. There we go. But a lot of people have been requesting for this series, and just know that yes, I am working on it. It's a lot more difficult than I originally thought it would be. Okay. Well, thank you for the encouragement, Sandra. So I can trim this one down. Hi, Nancy. I made a quilt that had 800 1.5-inch HSTs. Wow. How long did it take you to square all of those up? Or did you need to? That is so cool of you, Eric. That'll be so interesting. I love learning. Okay, Sandra. Well, I just hope that I can get it out soon. It is taking a while because there's a lot of things that I didn't consider. So I'm trying to be a little bit more thorough about it so that I leave no confusion. Well, it's a good thing this is a small block. My gosh. But talk about mini. The finished or unfinished size of this block well, I don't know if I'm supposed to say, but I'll say it anyway. It's 2.5 inches. So that is how I knew that something wasn't right. So talk about tiny. Okay. I've been working on a butterfly also. You just have to pay attention to your cuts. I copied the instructions and checked them off as I went along. Yeah, that's some good advice there, Kara. A lot of times I get into that, or I've been noticing that I've been getting into that habit of cutting the same sizes or the same strips, if you will, because a lot of them are the same sizes. But this block kind of, I didn't read it carefully. And this one threw me for a loop because the other two strips are not usual sizes that we've been cutting thus far in this quilt, which is why I got thrown off. But talk about teeny tiny. Wow. Okay. I can get my aunt to take a photo from. Oh, you made it for her 75th birthday? Oh, that's sweet. So, okay. So, speaking of which, a lot of I know a lot of you out there are planning or are doing this quilt, or maybe you're planning to do this quilt in the future. Here's what I would say to that, or here's my suggestion on this. First of all, keep yourself organized, because there's a lot of, the blocks are not difficult to make. It's a lot of log cabins. I think the most difficult block to make is the curved one. But if you've done like a drunkard's path, that should be no problem. There's a lot of there are some tiny pieces to this quilt. Actually, there's a lot of tiny pieces to this quilt because there's a lot of small piecing to do. My only advice to that is to just take your time sewing it. Make sure you get accurate cuts. And on some of the blocks, there's the way the pattern is written, you oversize it by a lot, and then you trim it down. So, and if you know the math on some of these units, you can oversize it on your own, and or just go with a little bit larger cut size and then trim it down from there. That is, of course, if you know the math behind it. The other thing I would highly suggest you do is that have a project bag. Okay. I've been keeping all of the fabrics that I'm used for this quilt in this one container. I just grabbed a whole ton of fat quarters of various rainbow colors and just try to match it to the pattern, and then just kind of stuffed it in here. And anytime I needed to cut fabrics or grab colors, it's all in one spot and I'm not looking around for it. So I have these containers that I keep all of the fabrics, and even the scrap pieces, I left them in there because, again, there's a lot of the same cut strips, or you'll be cutting a lot of the same size strips. Some of the blocks, though, like this one, for example, it does throw you for a loop. So just pay attention to those cut sizes. Now, when you do have your blocks, or as you are completing your blocks, one thing I would highly recommend you do, get some Ziploc bags and store them or separate them out according to the type of block. So like, for example, all your log cabins can be in one Ziploc bag. All the cross blocks can be in another Ziploc bag. You have 136 half square triangles to do. So that can be in one bag. Keep it separate, because what I'm finding out is, for me, when I'm starting to lay out the quilt, like what I'm doing behind me, yeah, trying to find the right block when you have it all mixed up into a container or just kind of thrown in a pile, that can be a bit time consuming, especially with the half square triangles. So main thing is to just find some way to keep yourself organized with all the blocks as you go and as you complete it. And even with all the fabrics, just, you know, grab a project bag and store everything in there. Aside from the general rules of reading the instructions carefully and making sure you're getting it right. Because how many times on this journey have I cut the wrong size fabric? Okay. One thing that both myself and Tiffany, when we first started out this quilt, we consciously, well, for me, I consciously made the decision that I wasn't going to cut all the fabric pieces all at once. Tiffany started out that way, but in the end, she kind of figured out how she can keep it all organized. The big challenge with it is that you can't, or it's very difficult to keep all your cut pieces organized, because the way the pattern is laid out, you'll be doing each block separately. And so for us, and there's a million different pieces of the same sizes, or similar sizes. And so just to keep your fabric or your cut pieces organized was gonna be a challenge. And both myself and Tiffany kind of knew that, but as we got more, you know, we started constructing the blocks. For Tiffany, she figured out a way that she can keep her fabric pieces organized. So she spent the time actually just cutting all the fabric pieces, and that's when it got faster for her. Now, for me personally, I knew that I was going to just get my own self confused. So I opted not to do that and just kind of cut as I create. But that is something to kind of consider for those of you that like to cut all your fabric pieces and then sew everything all at once. This is one of those quilts where you're gonna find it you may find it very difficult to keep yourself organized if you have fabric pieces all over the place. So if you have, or if you have Ziploc bags, maybe you can cut your fabric pieces all together in one shot and then, you know, label it in a Ziploc bag or something. But yeah, I'm the one thing I did get right is just not to cut all the fabric pieces all at once at the beginning, because again, for me, there was no way I was going to keep all of that organized. But if you're an organized person and you know, you can keep yourself organized, hey, by all means, cut all the fabric pieces at the beginning, because it will save you a lot of time. I will say that. Yeah. Kara says, yes, Eric, I have used a lot of gallon Ziploc bags for my blocks as I have finished on each page. Yeah. So, well, there you have it. There's proof. I did not do that, and unfortunately, I only realized that I should have done that when I started laying out the blocks and started to take a look at the different sections that which is what the instructions say to do. And of course, I just kind of piled all the blocks into one big pile and didn't keep it really organized, which is how I kind of missed the fact that I didn't create the mini log cabin, which is why I'm doing it now. Or maybe no, I don't think I did create it. Maybe I did create it and then just forgot where I put it. I don't know. But I could have sworn I was done with all the log cabin blocks. And I was so sad that day because making log cabins is my favorite block. So it was kind of sad that we were done with the log cabin section. Okay, now I know I'm not going to need these in the future, so I can kind of trim these down to a usable pre-cut size for me. Cut that, turn it around, cut it down to 1.5. Okay. Hey, Marilyn. Better late than never, right? Well, as those of us in Hawaii say, we're on Hawaiian time. So you're early for next Wednesday. Kelly Quilts and Cruise, or Kelly Quilts Plus says, I usually cut as I go. Pieces could wind anywhere if I cut too much ahead of time. Yeah, so you're exactly like me. Good night, Kelly. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, so I got that. Let's do a crumb. Let's use that, and I'll do this green. Oh, look at that. It actually matches. Okay. So I'm just sewing off on a crumb here so that I can cut this block off. And now I can press this. Now, since these blocks are really small, I'm going to check and trim that they are the correct size. Okay, and I'm kind of basically just trimming off the threads there. Not bad. Very little to trim off of that one. Okay, this one has a little more. Cara says, I also did pre-cut one per a few pages so I could sew the next, and I also wrote on sticky notes and used clips. So there you have it. There's some great tips on how to keep yourself organized. Again, that's kind of a key thing with this quilt because there are a lot of different pieces to it. Normally quilt, or at least with the patterns that I've seen, they will give you the instructions up front as to what size or all the pieces to cut up front. So it'll tell you cut a 2.5 inch strip and then subcut it to 400 squares or something. This pattern did not do that. It actually lended itself to kind of cut as you go, which is how I kind of operate a lot of times. But and for good reason. So yeah, which is why I said I am not cutting all the pieces all at once. No, that was not for me. Hey, Carissa. Okay. And I'm just basically cutting off the threads. I mean, I did pretty good on this small block here. Then again, I did trim in between. All right, so here's my mini log cabins. And these, if I'm not mistaken, these go right above the cross here. So which way did they go? One, two, and three. Okay. Now I know you can't see a lot of it, so don't worry. I will post probably a video short about my progress, minus the circle blocks. Yeah. Which, speaking of which, okay. This has been my nemesis since last night, so let's see if I can actually get this one right this time. So, circle blocks, pie blocks, let's see, where are you? We'll start with the medium. I've already done the teeter-totter, so I need to actually, although the picture is very small, I know, I need to do this one. Whoops. That second one. I already made the green, which was these two. Well, kind of green. I didn't have this turquoise color that I was supposed to use, but I just said that looks green to me. So, so I have to do a purple outside and a black and gray on the inside. Okay. So let's grab the scraps. So here's a black. I could probably use some of this. And it's H and G. I can put the rest of these templates away. And these go in the strings. So I got black. I have my gray pieces all cut out. And purple. We'll try this again. So the purple is the outer piece. Let me double check before I cut it and trace it wrong yet again. So the purple's on the outside, the black and the gray is on the inside. Yep. Okay. I have a thing that I have memory by motion. So purple outside, black and gray inside. Hey, use whatever mnemonic device you can, right? Okay, so I'm gonna trace this out. Now for this, I'm gonna need, whoops, I'm gonna need 4 per block. Which I will just cut it directly off of here. Cut the straight edge. There. Cut that edge there. Oh, one more edge, one more straight edge right here. And then I can use the scissors. You know what? I'm going to hold this with a pin for now. Just so I can get this curve. Crumb. Oh, caught the selvage. Okay, need to cut one last piece because I caught the selvage there. Didn't check that. And that's going to be showing, yeah, that is going to show up in the quilt. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I need how many? I need 8 of these for 2 blocks. So Hi, Claudia. Nope, that's too small. Now, if you're wondering why I'm actually marking the top or the right side of the fabric, it's because these lines I'm going to cut directly on, and so they're not going to show up on the quilt top. You can, if you want to, you can trace it accordingly on the back of the fabric, which is perfectly fine. I just figure just trace it on the top. And I will cut right in between these two. Cut straight there. Cut there. Okay. There, that worked. One, two, three, four. So that's one block. 1, 2, 3, and ooh, let me iron that. Oh, why did I throw that in there? We'll take this to the iron so it'll hold it down somewhat. Little trick that I learned. If you iron multiple pieces of fabric down, it kind of temporarily acts like a pin, so that if you need to kind of pick it up and move it around, like it kind of keeps it together like that. So just a little bit of a tidbit that I learned. And then we'll cut this bit off. And I will cut this bit off here. Oops, better put that down, put the pin away. Okay. So here's another tip for you. If you're cutting a curve, trick to cutting a good curve with a rotary cutter, if you don't want to use your scissors, keep the rotary cutter moving forward like you normally would when you're cutting fabric. Rotate the fabric as you cut the edge. So watch what I do here. I'm just going to kind of rotate the fabric. Instead of, I'm just pushing the rotary cutter forward, but I'm rotating the fabric instead of rotating the rotary cutter. I'm just putting the rotary cutter forward, and I'm just making sure that I just cut as close to the line as I can. That way, it's a lot easier than, because most people have a natural tendency of, if they have a curve shape, they kind of contort their arm to go on the angle. Instead of doing that contortion, just keep your rotary cutter going forward, but then just rotate the fabric in the direction of the curve. A lot easier to do. Okay, so do I have enough? So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And this is scrap because of that. Actually, I could have used it and it wouldn't have bothered me, even in the final quilt. Okay. Then I need a couple of the black pieces, in which for now I'll just get 2 of them. Okay, so because I didn't mark the fabric and I'm just cutting directly off the template, that time I do have to kind of contort my arm to go around the curve. Unless you have a template that grips the fabric really well, that wouldn't work. So and I can't mark this black fabric because I don't have any kind of white chalk. So even if I do mark it, I won't see the marking. Wow, that's all that's, nope, I got a little piece more. Okay, so we will, let's see. I'm just gonna free piece it. Okay. Now when you sew curves, I mean, some people like to use pens. These are pretty small. And so on these smaller piece, or on these smaller curved blocks, the pins tend to get in the way for me. So I am just going to kind of, this is a technique I learned watching some other quilters do. And basically I just kind of manipulate the fabric to the point where as it reaches the needle, that's when I'm lining the edges of the fabrics together. So it's kind of like a weaving motion where you kind of weave it this back and forth. If I had a camera up, or if I had the ability of putting the camera up close, I would kind of show you that, and it'll probably make a lot more sense that way. But I've seen Rob Appel do this technique. I've seen there's a company out there called So Kind of Wonderful. They also explain this technique really well, actually, on their video. And they get up close shots of the needle, the sewing needle, so that you can kind of see what they're doing. And it's just basically kind of manipulating the fabric, or kind of just doing that weaving motion. And the curve is kind of getting away from me, so I need to put the needle down, readjust it. Yeah, last night, you don't know how upset I was after everything. Come to find out that I just totally sewed the wrong pieces to the wrong, or cut out the wrong colors to the wrong pieces, and yeah, was not a happy camper last night. Hi, Claudia. If I didn't say hi to you, hello. Okay, and last night this black fabric was also, oh, that's not good. Okay, toss that. This black fabric was giving me a hard time, so let's see how it does. And just take it slow when you do your curve. You don't have to rush it. Just do it slow and steady. And this is where it gets difficult when you do it on a small block size like this. Let's see, how did I do? Not bad. Okay, I'm happier with this result. How did I do with this one? Okay. Am I the expert at sewing curves? No. But I can somewhat do a decent job at it. Suzanne Taylor says the quilting marine does it that way too. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a lot easier and less time consuming. You can, if you're, well, on a smaller size, like this is what, 3.5? Yeah. On a 3.5-inch unit or block like this, I might be better off just kind of pinning it, but I just don't want to. I was kind of struggling with the pins last night because it was I was kind of getting some tucks in the seams, so I'm just opting not to do that. Okay, what time is it? 8:30. Okay, we'll just get. I want to at least get one of these done, and then we will call it a live. So, and I need more black. It sort of seems like I have an endless supply of black fabric here, so I think this will be big enough. Okay, we'll see if I need more. Let's see, this might actually just be big enough for all of it. How much black? No, I need 1, 2, 3, 4. So I got 1. Actually, I need more than just that. Okay. How you guys doing? I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I know tonight is a little extra long. Okay, just want to get one of these blocks done, and then we'll call it a night. Whoop. Okay, I know I messed up on the end of that, but we'll see how it turned out. Because I think that's going to get caught in the seam allowance anyway. Not bad. Not bad. So it goes like that, and then one more gray. Nancy says, when you done the 52 blocks, I learned how to do curves then. Oh, that was, believe it or not, that was the first time I ever sewed a curve. And I'm so glad that my quilting friend forced me to do it. Because had it not been for that, I probably would have never attempted to do a curve. But that ruler really did help take the fear out of it. And you know, since then I haven't been so afraid of doing curves. And I will say, I'm not the expert at sewing curves, but when you get your first couple of blocks done, you kind of get the hang of it. Then you start getting more confident that you can do curves. And so it's just a matter of breaking that fear and being okay with, you know, making, your first couple of curved blocks are probably going to be not the greatest, but you know, as long as you let go of that perfectionism and just keep at it, you know, you'll get better at it. And if you need to, just, you know, use pins, use whatever tools to make you comfortable and make you get the result that you want to see. You know, okay, so I'm glad this is somewhat of a circle shape so you can kind of see the circle. So let me just quickly put this 4-patch together and we will call it alive. And again, guys, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me on a Wednesday night. I'm usually not on this long. I try to keep it to about an hour, but I wanted to prove it to myself, especially after last night's disaster, that I can get this block. So and we are almost there, which is why I can start laying out some of the blocks, and then just to figure out if I have enough blocks or if I made the right amount of blocks for each, which I discovered earlier tonight that I didn't. So makeup time, you betcha. Okay, but if anybody has any last minute questions, you know, now's the time to kind of put it in. If I missed your question, I do apologize. You can put it in the chat or re-enter it in the chat or just email me. And what is my email? Good question. So here we go. Oh, no, that's not going to work. Good night, Carissa. Thanks for hanging out. I know it's late for some of you because it's probably past midnight or getting close to it. Okay, the moment of truth here. Sort of. Now, you know what? I don't want to have to match that up, so I'll just do it this way. Let's see how this all turned out. Okay. The center point's a little off, but I'm happy with this. I'll take it. I'll take this one any day. Let me just let me press this seam open here. See if I can get it finger pressed. I had a pressing stick somewhere. I don't know where I put it. Or where it disappeared to. Okay, let's press that. Definitely stretched it out, but I can trim it down to the correct size. And okay, turn the cameras back. Okay, there is the block. I know it's a little wonky, but I'll take it. I can trim it down to the correct size. Which is what I'm gonna do. I'll take, I know it's a little wonky, but I'll take it anyway. Because it's good enough for me. And okay, I'm gonna have to kind of compensate this for a second, but there it is. I'll take it. All right, guys. Well, thank you, Suzanne. And by the time you quilt it, no one will notice. That's right. So I am sticking to that, and that's my story. So, all right, guys. Good night to all of you. Again, thank you for joining me and sticking around with me on this very long live, almost an hour and a half. It's 8:30. I know it's probably closer to 11 on the East Coast, so I appreciate you guys your long attention with this, but hope you guys learned or got some tips about how to do if you're putting this quilt together. Hope you got some good tips about how to keep yourself organized and how to or what not to do when you're cutting your fabric pieces and putting the blocks together. So all right, we'll see if I can, well, I may or may not do another live session continuing on with this. I just need to get the blocks done. So we'll see if we do another live. Again, I am joining Katie, the Greenland Quilter, next Saturday, the 27th, on her channel. So we can check her out. And again, we'll see you back here next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So yeah, until then, guys, good night. Have a great rest of your week. Have a great weekend. And we shall see you next week, Wednesday, if not sooner. But until then, let's all get out there. Let's all create something. Mwah. Bye for now.